I'm super excited to share with you how I use a new app for me, new to me, Trello. I'm going to walk you through how I use it and how it's helped me. Does your desk look like this? I have such a tendency to clutter and pile things and put sticky notes and write notes, and I have piles of mail and things that I need to go through. I don't anymore since I've started using this system, but I wanted to share with you kind of where I started. This is not an actual picture of my desk, but I'm sure you can totally relate. A previous coaching client that I had worked with in the past contacted me recently and told me, "You have got to read this book. This has changed my life, and I am getting things done quicker than I ever have before." I was intrigued, so I decided to download it on Audible, and I am so glad that I did. I also have a paper copy of the book. I really enjoyed listening to it on Audible, so whichever suits you, I would encourage you to look this book up. The main concept of this is really following the guidelines by David Allen in the Getting Things Done book that he wrote. And what you do is you kind of start with putting items in your inbox. So we have tons of inboxes all over the place. We have, as I mentioned before, sticky notes. We have, some of us have things hanging on the refrigerator that we don't want to forget. We put things in our planner. We pile information on our desk that we need to go through, but we don't have any way to really organize it all. So what we do is we create as few inboxes as possible, and then we place all those inbox items into one organized place, which today we're going to show you how to use Trello. We can then create actionable lists. We make it easy to understand what the next action is, and then as the items get done, we take those items off the plate. By creating actions, we are actually reducing the stress and anxiety level of all the things that are piled, because now we know what we have to do with those things in those piles to get them done. Okay, so for a minute, let's just talk about the items that we have in our everyday life that pop up. We might have emails that pop up, or ideas, thoughts, phone calls we need to make, letters we need to write. There are all kinds of activities that we need to create. So first we have to decide what that stuff is and where to put it. When we look at those items, we might have an email, for example, and we have to determine, is the information that's in the email actionable? If it is, then you decide, is it something I can do in less than 2 minutes? If so, go ahead and do it. If it's not, then you need to decide if you have to delegate it or defer it. It can be deferred on your own calendar, for example. If it's not actionable, then you either need to trash it, incubate it, or reference it. We're going to go over that in a little bit. If it's something that's bigger than just a quick item and it's more of a project, then we can put it into a project folder. All right, let's go to the next screen and we'll show you how it works. All right, here is an example that I created for you to just take a look and see what items are in here. So in your inbox, that's the place where you want to start putting all of the things that you have to do, items that you need to keep tabs on, or emails that you need to respond to. You just want to dump everything there. Don't worry about the process. Just dump all your thoughts there. Do like a 10 to 15 minute brain sweep and write all your things down. If you have piles of paper on your desk, pick up those items and create an individual card for each item on your desk. So for example, if there's a water bill on your desk and you need to pay it, create a card that says pay water bill, and then put that in a pile for later. Create a written note of everything and anything that's in your box, okay? Then you have the action list. That's where you're going to, after you've created your brain dump, you're going to actually create actions that are attached to each one of those things in the inbox. I'm going to go into further detail in a video coming up next, but just take a look at this for a minute, and you can see all the different lists that I use, and you can refer back to this if you have any further questions. Okay, go ahead and pause the slideshow here if you want to take a better look at it, and the next video has an in-depth view of how I use this. Okay, let's take a look at how I actually use this. So as you can see, there are all of these lists: the inbox, action list, projects completed, waiting for, reference, and someday maybe. What I want to be able to do is work mainly from my action list and create things that are getting done. So for example, if I choose a spot for my wedding venue, then I can record a little message to myself. I always want to put down what the activity is and keep notes on what I've done for those actions. And then I can save the messages. And I can create as many as I want to, and as many comments. Then what I'm actually going to do is place this over on the waiting for list, because I'm waiting to hear back from Jamie. Okay, let's look at this. Let's say that I've created my ticket purchase for my trip to France, and putting the information in here as June 7th, 2020, and it's with American Airlines, and the confirmation number, so on and so forth. Now I want to be able to save this information because I'm going to need to get to it later. So instead of putting it in my completed, what I will do is I will actually place it into my reference. Now I could actually do it from this screen, but I'm going to continue to drag and drop. I think it's an easier way to do it, but if you want to, you can use the little tabs on the side as well. Now anytime you want to see what's in there, you can click on the little comment bubble and see what the comment is. Now, supposing I have ordered my save the date cards, I write that I have ordered the cards, and I don't really need to see this action anymore. It's not something that I need to keep track of, so I'm going to go ahead and save it, and I'm going to place it in my completed file. Now later on, I will actually archive these, and they'll be able to be retrieved from archive at any time. I want to create an address list next. So from start to finish, here's how I add a card. I go ahead and create it. I edit it, click on edit labels, choose wedding, close it. I want to create a specific date for that. So we'll go in and choose a due date for that. Fantastic. Okay, let's take a look here because there's a checklist. Let's see what's next on our checklist, and I can go ahead and create my actions from the project of planning a trip to France. I've already made the plane reservation, so I'll mark that one off. And now I'll go ahead and create a couple new actions. So I need to create items to pack. So I'll go ahead and create that card, and I need to call Mom and see if she wants to join us. I'm going to go ahead and label these cards next so that it keeps it in my project, and I can create as many labels as I want to. You can keep them all the same color. You can make them different colors. I like to make them different colors because it makes it obvious at a glance what it is I'm looking for, and it makes it a little bit quicker for me to access the items that I'm interested in looking at. Okay, let's go ahead and tidy up this list. We found the venue. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create some actions first. So finding the dress. And I need to get a hold of a florist. So again, I'll create labels for these. And let's just add a couple more things from the France list. Okay, so when we put items in our lists, we can actually organize them a couple different ways. So you can go up to the little three dots at the top here, and you can either sort them by date or the card name or due date. I don't want to do any of those things right now, and I haven't put them in alphabetical order at all. So sometimes I'll do that if I want to make all my calls. I put call first and then all the calls go together. But I'm going to actually just drag and drop the colors so that the same colors are together, and that way it's a little tidier. I appreciate that more. Okay. Well, I think that is a good overview of how I use Trello, and I hope that has been informative. If you've had any questions, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. So in addition to using the Trello app, I also have desk side reference folders that hold information that supports the information that I've processed through the app. For example, in the picture here, you can see that I have a general reference folder, a write-off folder, a travel expense reimbursable folder, and an action support folder. Those are the main folders that I use on a daily basis, and as I need more, I will continue to add them to my desk, but for now, that is what I primarily use. Thank you for letting me share with you how I use Trello. It's been a pleasure and an honor for you to take a peek at this. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can email me. My email is provided on the screen here. And just keep in mind, this is very customizable. You can use it however you want to and however it works for you. This is a very basic version, and there are lots of ways to add bells and whistles. I don't recommend getting too many bells and whistles at the get-go, because the more things that you have to remember to do, the less inviting it will be to use it. So start with something basic, and then as you get more dialed in, you can start adding some of those bells and whistles. All right, thanks so much.